let's stop the music for a bit. Okay, so let's watch it. I watched it one time, but I didn't watch it very closely. So I want to watch it a little bit closer.
Wake the dog up.
I want to focus on it.
Handler,
So
Walter,
I'm already seeing
verified.
stuff that I didn't see the
Activating
first time.
cerebral coral control
So,
device.
like, you can already see that the engine. This is an in-engine. It's pretty clear, and you can already see that the engine is old, right? You can see that the engine shows its years here. It's pretty clear. The poly count is not that high. You can see the texture resolution is not that high. They're probably also like thinking about console a lot. But the engine has its limitation, right?
Augmented human C4.
I think this runs on the same engine as the proprietary engine. Look at this. So let's watch it once and then go through it slowly, just to point out some of the things that I don't like. But all these things that I'm talking about are about like visual fidelity and don't really matter as far as enjoyment of the game goes. I think this game will be enjoyable even the visuals are not like modern stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. This looks fun. There's no two ways about it. This looks freaking fun. But, you know, I'm very worried.
One of the infamous handler Walter's hounds. Interesting.
Yes, it is
Ready
interesting.
to climb the wall?
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
Man, if this game does the things that I want to talk about right,
Watch out!
it's gonna be great. But I don't think that's things right. At least the things that I want to talk about. The action, the gameplay design looks great, and even like some aspects of the visual, like art direction and stuff, looks very good. But there are some things I want to talk about. Yeah. So let's watch it let's watch it slowly. I don't even want to watch it slow-mo. I just want to just point out some of the stuff that I was looking at. For example, so let's bring the music back up. From the get-go, you can see that the engine shows its age, right? This close-up of the panels show like really low poly count in these models. You can see washed up texture here. There's even some issues because you can see stretched textures here. This is actually a problem of UV mapping. I don't know if you guys do know what it is, but it's basically how you tell the game. The texture is wrapped basically around the model. Like if you wrap the texture around the model in a bad way, stretches like this happen, right? It's uneven. You can see these streaks look kind of weird. Anyway, this is not the problem. This is not an issue that coming from an old engine or stuff like that. This is just an issue of modeling. Probably this is the only close-up of this model that you're ever gonna see in the game, and they didn't bother adjusting that. But you can see here there are other problems, low polys and stuff like that. Whatever. This is something. This is just saying their graphics engine looks old. and probably they need to update it. They were working on this game probably like in parallel with Elden Ring, because the turnout was very, very quick. And so I think they had this engine available at the time, and also probably this engine is very easy for them at this time to work with, and they were able to make the game like fast and efficiently, right? But this is probably a problem. It's more of a problem for advertisement, for marketing, for how the game shows, and everything like that. Of course, it's Fromsoftware. They usually get a pass for this, right? Because they do games that are actually really well done. Yeah. Also that somebody in the chat said that they want to release game quickly, right? It is fair using an old engine that you know really well to just release games fast, but it will show its age no matter what. You can see also this. So the scenery is really nice, well designed, but you can see the limitation of the engine all over the place right here. You can just see them. Even the armored core itself, right? The robot, you're gonna see this thing in your face all the time, and it's gonna look a little bit outdated, I would say. It is looking outdated. Look at these balls here. There's no details in them. There are not a lot of polygons going on. The lighting looks fine, I would say, but yeah, it looks old. And probably they went with a lower poly count overall compared to other games, because the nature of the gameplay of this game, right? It's fast action. They would want to have a very steady 60 frames per second, at least on consoles, right? But there's a catch there. Are they gonna do the usual weird stuff that they've done with the past games with the PC port? That's my big worry. So, talking about worries, right? This looks bad. If you just pause it and see the still images, it looks kind of crappy. I'm sure this is not gonna matter when I'm playing, right? I'm not gonna bother looking at this weird rectangle thing. I don't think I'm gonna bother that when I'm playing. I'm gonna just pay attention to what am I shooting, how am I moving, and that's great. I wanna have fun. I don't care about this. As I was saying in the tier list, visual fidelity is not high up in my priorities for how I evaluate the game, but it does look outdated. I'm not gonna lie. This won't help sell the game. Yeah, and at least probably it will run on my bad PC, you know. Anyway, back to my worries, because this is not what worries me. This is whatever. Look at this. Oh fuck! Look at this jagged shadow here. Stop! I need to stop. Let's talk about the worries. If this game comes to PC with a 60 frame cap, I'm just gonna explode, man. When I saw the state in which Elden Ring shipped on PC, I was livid. I don't wanna swear too much. I was livid, man. I was really let down by it, because it was not looking super great. It was looking okay. The art style, the art direction of the game really saved the visual of the game for me. It wasn't looking so good, it was locked at 60, and also it didn't have support for ultra-wide monitors, which I use, but I'm not the only one. Ultra-wide monitors are getting pretty popular. I'm seeing many people getting them right now because it's a really nice form factor. It's very immersive. There is also the fact that they are getting very cheap also, right? Like good, nice VA panels, 144, 165 hertz panels, ultra wide, that do not cost very much right nowadays. And this is making them very, very easy to pick up and more popular than ever before. So if you ship a freaking game on PC, you have to be aware of these things. You cannot just like ship it the way it is on consoles, right? I'm mad enough that they don't bother like unlocking frame rates on consoles, right? I'm livid enough about that, because I think games like this that really focus on fast action and twitch reactions and very nice responsive controls, hopefully that's the case, they need to be snappy also on consoles, right? I would play this 100% on a modern console at 180p resolution and at 120 hertz refresh rate. That's how I would play a game like this, even on console. So it's bad enough that they don't like bother unlocking the frame rates on consoles, but man, if you ship a game on PC, you better be sure that you do that. Unlock the freaking frame rate. Sorry. Unlock the freaking frame rate. And let me just choose the resolution I want to play at. Give me the choice. Let me have it. What's the problem with me playing your game in ultra wide? It's not a competitive game that needs to have a rule set that involves the aspect ratio of the monitor. Well, it's a single player game. What's your problem here? Why? I played Elden Ring in ultra wide because I used the mod, and that thing also impaired my experience of the game, because I wasn't able to play in online mode. I wasn't able to play with the threat of invasions and stuff like that, because if you use the mod, you couldn't go online and yada yada yada, you know. So I wasn't able to play the game the way I wanted. I had to make choice. I had to do compromises, like to make compromises to play the game the way I wanted. I used a mod to unlock the frame rate cap, and I used a mod to unlock the ultra wide resolution, and there were a problem with that because they didn't think about the ultra wide resolution. So the UI was like sitting in the middle of the screen for me, because it wasn't nobody thought about like having the UI adapt to how wide your screen is, right? Eventually I think the modder fixed that too, but you know, I had this kind of like not optimal experience with the game, because Fromsoftware doesn't do that kind of stuff on PC, doesn't do optimization on PC, the game didn't even run that well. It wasn't so, the engine is not that heavy to run, so it was manageable for me. I think I got playing native 3440 by 1440p resolution at I think it was 60 to 80 or 60 to 90 frame per second, depending on the zone, if it was at like a closed area or an open world area and stuff like that. I managed to get those kind of frame rates with high settings, I think. Yes, I believe. Maybe I turned something to medium. I don't actually remember, but it was pretty playable. Especially for a PC like mine, which I didn't upgrade it. I don't have upgrade that in like almost 5 years right now. So it was pretty manageable. But the fact that I cannot, I didn't have a choice. If I had to mod the game to play the way I wanted it to play. So my worries about this game is that I won't be able to do the same thing. And since Armored Core, I don't think it's popular like Souls games. I don't know if the modders will be invested in this game to actually take the time and do the mods that I need to play the game the way I want to. That's basically my worry. Hopefully it's not the case. Probably some modder will do something about it if FromSoft continues to be stupid and not implement this basic PC feature. Basic ass PC features, right? So this is my big worry. This game at 60 will be playable, but it will not be at its best. Have you seen how fast the action is? How many stuff you see on the screen at one time? How much stuff you see? How many projectile you have to avoid? How many sliding and dashing and drifting you will have to do to avoid projectile and stuff? This is basically a bullet hell game, right? And you will need to get close to the enemies to go in melee and then get back out and shoot them again. It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna need performance to be enjoyable. So let's hope that they make the controls good enough that at the right performance the game feels great, right? Because if they could design the controls to be very, very fluid, responsive, and nice feeling, but if the game runs badly, you're not gonna be able to enjoy that for what it is. And on consoles, so I'm pretty sure they will do performance modes. Maybe they won't even bother do a visual fidelity mode, like a 30 frame per second mode on a game like this. I don't think it's worth even doing. Even if like they, for example, if they don't manage to get a 4K 60 on console, don't even bother make the game run in 4K ever. Just do the performance mode, 1440p or whatever it is. Keep it at like steady 60 all the time for every player, because this is gonna be very the performance is gonna make it or break it for a game like this. So hopefully they learned the lesson, because the thing that bothers me the most, and I'm freaking angry about it, is that it seems to me that I was the only one like bothered by the state in which they launched Elden Ring. Somebody said that performance weren't like good enough, but all the other things that they missed weren't subject. Like they weren't the subject that was discussed on the internet. Ultra wide support, 60 frame per second cap. What the hell? Why and nobody talked about that on the internet? It was so weird to me, because even Elden Ring, even though it's slower paced than this game, of course it is. It's even though it's slower paced than this game, it is a game that relies on like precision inputs, right, and timing and reflexes and stuff like that. So you need performance to be able to enjoy that kind of gameplay. And I hate it. Elden Ring is the Souls game, like the Souls-like game that I played the least in the history of Souls game. And probably also part of it is because it's too long to be like replayed, and also like PvP sucked balls in that game, and not just because there were some like very, very broken builds in the PvP, but also because the game was running like shit online. The netcode was so bad that I didn't even bother trying dueling with people. So like most of my extra hours on Souls game usually go into PvP stuff, but with Elden Ring I didn't even bother, and I didn't even try to do another run like a New Game Plus, because the game was too damn long for me to do that. So however, I think part of the reason why I didn't play like 300 hours like I played the other Souls games. It was performance, and was also the fact that I couldn't play in ultra wide if I didn't use the mod. And like that hindered, for example, another aspect of the game that I usually enjoy about those games is multiplayer. I wanted to like usually I do my first run solo, and then the second one I usually do with friends, right? Co-op, because it's fun, it's easier, you don't have to think about it, it's just like a good fun. And I didn't do that because to be able to play with other players, I needed to play the game locked at 60 and in 16:9 aspect ratio, forced to play on that aspect ratio, and have my like 2 black bands showing up on my monitor, which is bad and breaks the immersion of the game so much. It's bad. So going back to the actual subject of this segment, I really hope this game gets the proper care when it comes to PC port, and hopefully also on console, right? I hope this game runs great on console, at least 60 frames locked. Hell, give me a 180p 120 Hz mode, please. Give console players, not me. I don't play on console anymore, but whatever. If I ever get a console, I want that. And please respect PC players for what they invest their money on. This is the basics. Yeah, the basic thing about this. I invested a lot of my hard-earned money on this freaking monitor, right? And on my graphics card, or on my rest of the PC or the setup, I invested all this money to be able to enjoy the game in a certain way, right? And you make me pay $60, 60 euros, whatever, to get your game, and you don't respect my investment because you didn't even bother like flicking a switch and enabling ultra wide resolution or uncapping your frame rate, because enabling ultra wide resolution could be like adding some work in some cases. For example, like make the UI adapt to different size of screen, to different aspect ratios for the screens and stuff, but I don't think it's that bad to make a responsive UI on a game, and also you didn't respect the money I invested in my system to get more than 60 frames per second and play the game in a more reactive and enjoyable and fun way. Because I'll tell you what, if you think that going over 60 frames per second it's a waste of energy or a waste of system resources or stuff like that, because your eyes cannot see above 60 frames, you're out of this world, man. You were living under the rock. Try play a game at least 120 Hz. I would admit that actually seeing the difference above 120 Hz is very difficult. But I'm talking about like seeing with your eyes. It is different to perceive like the difference between 120 and 160, for example, or 120, not even 200 Hz, right? But that's just your eyes. What you can actually feel, it's the difference in responsiveness, in the controls. And even though you don't see all, like immediately, like see all those frames, like more frames per second, you're gonna be able to react to things much easier, much faster than you could on like playing at 60 frames per second. You can bet your ass on that you will be able to see stuff coming way faster, and your control will feel much better. the controller in your hand, the mouse when you look around, or like the way you move with your keyboard or your like analog stick, whatever you're using, it's gonna feel much better if you run the game at higher frame rates. And you will feel the difference between 90 and 120, between 920 and 160, between 160 and 240. You're gonna feel the difference. You're not gonna see the difference, but you're gonna feel it. And you're not gonna be able to tell the difference, but you're gonna be able to react to things faster. That's a matter of fact, man. Just try it. Try it once, and you'll see that that it'll be hard for you to get back to like 60 or even worse than that. And that's it, guys. So we did it. We managed to go through all the things that I want to talk about, and hopefully you enjoyed this time with me, and hopefully you'll enjoy the videos on YouTube too when they are ready and uploaded. So it has been a long and interesting ride. So thank you very much for staying with me, and for listening, and for watching the video. And see you in the next one. Ciao, 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 ciao.